Alright, so today we are talking about the pallid bat. And here's the pallid bat right here, and here's a bunch of little pallid bats. Oh, look at them! They're all huddling together. Those are sleepy bats right there. So these bats are also known as the desert bat because they're primarily found in the American Southwest. They can also go into Mexico as well. And so these bats are 15 to 16 inch wingspan. They're not that big. And there's also something very interesting about them. There's a few interesting things about them. For one thing, they are capable of using echolocation to hunt their prey. However, most of them actually prefer not to use it. So it's like they can, but it's like, we don't need to use echolocation for everything. We have ears. We can just use regular ears. So they just use regular hearing to like detect their prey and swoop down and eat them. Mostly insects like the Arizona bark scorpion seen here, seen being devoured right here. They eat a lot of those. They also emit a skunk kind of odor, like a defense mechanism. So if you see them in the cave and you disturb them, they can release like a foul odor to sort of like deter predators. All right, so that's interesting. The most interesting thing though about these pallid bats that I discovered though is that they are heterothermic. All right, so this led me down a tangent and I learned about something else today. So most of my life, whenever I've heard about animals that are either warm-blooded or cold-blooded, right? Like there's two, warm-blooded animals are like human beings and mammals like cows and tigers and things. And then there's cold-blooded animals like lizards and reptiles that can't maintain their body heat, so they have to get it somewhere else. So while the term homeothermic, which is what humans are, warm-blooded is a thing, the term cold-blooded is sort of like a vernacular. Like, it sort of refers to what these, animals are that are cold-blooded, but not exactly. The correct term is poikilothermic. Okay? And the reason it's called that is because they're not necessarily cold-blooded, it's that their internal temperature changes depending on their environment. So humans are always warm-blooded, all right? If the, internal temperature starts dropping a lot, that's hypothermia, you can die, all right? So our temperature is trying to maintain this homeostasis and homeothermic inside of our bodies, okay? But when it comes to like frogs or snakes, for instance, they don't necessarily have cold blood, it's just they have to adapt to whatever their environments are, okay? So sometimes their environments require them to be a little bit more warm depending on, the area where they're at, getting warmth from like water or like, basking out in the sun, and the seasons could change and they have to modify their internal temperatures. So it's more like warm-blooded and then varying temperature in terms of, your blood. Now, when it comes to these pallid bats, though, they're heterothermic, which means they're both. Which means they can like regulate their body to be constantly warm like humans, but then under certain circumstances, if their environment changes or the seasons change or whatever, it can vary wildly without worrying about hypothermia or hyperthermia or anything like that to where it needs to be. So that's very interesting about these pallid bats that I wanted to bring up, and that is this episode of Bat Facts. Also, I wanted to bring up, the next Shonen Jump is actually released tomorrow. It's an early release this week, so it's Thursday right now where I'm at, so it'll be Friday. It's coming out tomorrow. But also keep in mind there's no new One Piece chapter this week. And I have another video planned for tomorrow that I was going to do anyway, but I just wanted to bring that up because I just found that out like an hour ago. Like, oh, we're getting an early release this week. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Thanks for watching the video. Tekking, Barry, Sanji, signing out.